For instance, I don't I don't think people would really enjoy this sort of experience, because the key of B has a poisonous quality, and I don't think you'd want to poison the people who are listening to the music. But yeah, maybe there's some quality that you might be able to project towards people to give them a similar, maybe a bitter smell of something, to give them that sort of nasty taste or nasty smell. Maybe you could have a room where people could sit, where you don't experience anything but the you might be able to reflect colours through mist by means of light in a darkened room, and people would see, they'd sort of sit there and experience this sort of light coming through pink or yellow mist and filling their entire experience, their entire senses. There is a difference in the imagination to a real experience that you would give to somebody else visually. If you just played one note, E, you'd get the same experience in the imagination that I did when I was on the top of climbing a mountain, looking upwards, and all I could see, absolutely nothing but blue sky. Then if you play other notes with it, then it gets a bit more complicated, of course.
So not only textures, not only forms, but some experience is also connected to certain sounds, like lying on the top of that mountain. It did give me that feeling that yes, if somebody could experience my imagination of the note E, it would be a good, close experience to the imaginary experience. We're really exploring the boundaries of how you can express experiences and imagination, and communicate them to other people somehow. Maybe not as well as you like to, but I think it does actually get very difficult to describe or reproduce anything like that, because it's like everybody's dreams are different, and it's very difficult to reproduce the dream that you experience and communicate it to somebody else. And I think words are somehow inadequate, and maybe real colours are inadequate to communicate imaginary colours to people. Yes, there's the colour experience actually adjusts a little bit like the brightness of the light for your eyes with the different pitches. So this being at the 440 pitch, the Ds are tending to edge a little bit of grey and purple. On the yellow is not very intense. So there can be a tendency to read it as slightly purple, and then wait a minute. No, this is the higher pitch, and you adjust the sort of imaginary colour meter, as it were. I don't know if meter is the right word, but when I read that as D's and A's, there's the actual colours come a little bit better. It's like when you go outside if you've been in a tunnel and you go outside into the bright light and you say, oh, it's too bright, I can't see anything, everything's too bright, I can't see any colours. And when you've adjusted to that pitch, that brightness, you think, oh yes, and you begin to, when you are adjusted to that pitch, the colours do come much better. Not just in the same way as if you've been outdoors in the bright for a long time,
it's all normal, and if you come back into a dark room, you, oh, can't see where my red stool is. It's a dark red stool, and oh, you've got latent images from the images left over from the bright clouds you've been looking at, and you can't see the time on the clock for it. But when you've adjusted to the duller light, you see things better. It's just a little bit like that. There's a little bit of an adjustment to make, but it does work pretty well. There's not the sort of purity and intensity of colour quite to the same extent. Record players and machinery for reproducing music, it's not always accurate, and sometimes it's going too slow, sometimes too fast. So yes, and of course my own music I can play at whatever pitch I like. Perhaps I should mention this, the light and dance music, pop music, the less complex music, I do enjoy that rather a lot, because there's more repetition of certain notes. I mean, if there's plenty of notes C in a piece of music, it sort of soaks in better, there's more of it, and you get a more intense experience in terms of quantity of notes. So I mean, a pop record can come over as a wonderful red experience, whereas a complex piece of serious classical music, there'll be a bit of red there, then it changes key and changes in all sorts of ways, and well, it's only a small amount of your actual red. So that's one aspect which could be explored, perhaps.